Picture this. It is 7:45 in the morning. You grab your bag, you pick up your keys, you say goodbye to your dog, maybe ruffle their ears, maybe not. And then you close the door behind you. What happens in the next 60 seconds, inside your dog's brain and body, is something most owners never stop to think about. And what science has found about those 60 seconds is genuinely one of the most quietly heartbreaking things I have ever come across. Today, we are going inside the neuroscience. Not the simplified version, not the comforting version, but what researchers who study canine cognition have actually documented, minute by minute, in the hours your dog spends without you. And if you stay until the end, there is one specific finding from a 2019 study that will completely change how you say goodbye to your dog every single morning. Part 1. Let us start at the exact moment the door closes. Your dog does not simply watch you leave and then wander off to sleep. What actually happens is closer to a small biological emergency. Within 60 seconds of your departure, researchers from the University of Vienna, measuring dogs using non-invasive heart rate monitors, found that canine heart rates spiked significantly. We are talking about the same kind of physiological response a human experiences when they suddenly hear a loud, unexpected noise. This is not drama. This is not a dog being overly sensitive. This is the nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. Remember that dogs are, beneath all their domestication, pack animals. And for a pack animal, separation from the group is not merely uncomfortable. It is biologically encoded as dangerous. The moment your dog loses sight of you, a part of their brain that has not changed in 15,000 years of domestication registers a single urgent message. The group has fragmented. Cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, begins to rise. Breathing becomes slightly faster. The dog begins scanning the environment, ears moving, nostrils working, trying to locate any trace of you in the space you just left. And this is the part that matters most. That spike does not happen when a stranger leaves. Studies have confirmed that this alarm response is triggered specifically by the departure of the person the dog is most bonded to. Not any human. You. Your dog's body is not simply noting your absence, it is responding to it. Part 2. After that first wave of biological alarm, most dogs do not simply freeze and stare at the door. They begin to search. This searching behavior has been documented in multiple observational studies using in-home cameras placed by researchers. Dogs move through the house with intention. They return to the places their owner most frequently occupies: the sofa, the bed, the chair at the kitchen table. They sniff each surface slowly and deliberately. What they are doing is reading scent memory. A dog's olfactory system, their sense of smell, is between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's. When you sit somewhere, you leave an invisible but detailed chemical signature. Your stress levels, your mood, your hormonal state, even whether you slept well the night before, are all encoded in that scent. Your dog is not simply smelling you, they are reading you. And in your absence, those scent traces become something almost like a substitute presence. Research from Emory University's Dog Cognition Lab, led by neuroscientist Gregory Burns, found that a dog's caudate nucleus, the brain region most associated with positive anticipation and reward, showed its strongest activation in response to the owner's scent. Not food, not another dog. The owner's scent alone. So when your dog circles through your home in that first hour, pressing their nose into your pillow or your side of the sofa, they are not being neurotic. They are doing the only thing their biology has given them to hold on to you with. They are keeping you present in the only way they can. Here is something that surprises most owners when they first encounter it. Part 3. After the initial alarm response and the searching phase, many dogs appear to calm down. They lie down. They sleep. If you have a camera in your home and you have checked the footage, you may have seen this and thought, "Oh good, they are fine after a while." But what is happening beneath the surface tells a different story. A landmark study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science tracked cortisol levels in dogs across full working days. Even when dogs appeared behaviorally calm, their cortisol levels remained significantly elevated compared to days when their owner was present in the home. The dog's body had not returned to baseline. It had simply reached a kind of managed tension, a low-level biological holding pattern. Think of it like this. If you were sitting in an airport waiting for a flight that had been delayed with no updates, no information, no way to know how much longer it would be, you might stop pacing eventually. You might sit down, check your phone, appear calm to a passing stranger, but internally, your nervous system would still be running at a higher level than normal. You would not truly relax until the plane was in the air. That is your dog in hour 3. Outwardly still, inwardly waiting. And the length of that waiting matters. Research consistently shows that the cortisol response in dogs left alone is not simply proportional to how long they are left. Dogs do not experience time the way humans do. They do not reason that you will be back at 5:30. They do not check a clock. They exist in a state of unresolved anticipation that has no endpoint, no countdown, no predicted arrival. They simply wait in a body that is still running slightly too hot until the door opens again. Part 4. Not all dogs experience this the same way, and understanding why is one of the most useful things you can take from this video. In 2015, researchers applying the same attachment framework used to study human infants conducted a landmark study on dogs. The Strange Situation Protocol, originally developed by psychologist Mary Ainsworth to measure how human children attach to their caregivers, was adapted for canine subjects. What they found was that dogs form the same categories of attachment to their owners that children form to their parents. Securely attached dogs, those who had a consistent, predictable, responsive relationship with their owner, showed lower baseline cortisol, recovered more quickly after separation, and demonstrated calmer behavior overall in the hours alone. Insecurely attached dogs, those whose relationship with their owner was less consistent or more unpredictable, showed higher cortisol spikes, more prolonged distress behaviors, and significantly slower recovery. This is important because it means that what your dog experiences when you leave for work every morning is not just a function of how long you are gone. It is a direct reflection of the quality of the relationship you have built, the groundwork you have laid in the ordinary hours at home. Your consistency, your calm, your predictability becomes the buffer your dog draws on in the hours you are absent. A securely attached dog does not stop missing you, but they carry the missing differently. Now we reach the moment that probably made you click on this video in the first place: the reunion. Most owners focus on the excitement of it, the spinning, the noise, the full body celebration that makes it physically difficult to get through the front door. And that excitement is real, it is documented, and it is genuinely touching. But there is something happening beneath the excitement that is even more significant. The 2015 study published in the journal Science by Japanese researcher Takefumi Kikusui found that when dogs and their owners made eye contact during a reunion, both the dog and the human showed a significant rise in oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same neurochemical that surges between a mother and a newborn child in the moments immediately after birth. Let that sit for a moment. Your dog has spent hours in a state of low-level biological stress. Their cortisol has been elevated. Their nervous system has been running in that managed holding pattern. And then you walk through the door, and within minutes, their oxytocin rises, their cortisol drops, their heart rate slows, their breathing settles. The biological emergency that began 60 seconds after you left is resolved. Not gradually, almost immediately. You are not just their favorite person. You are, in a measurable, documented neurochemical sense, their relief. Now, the finding I promised you at the beginning. In 2019, researchers studying departure rituals in dogs and their owners found something that most owners have never been told, and that I genuinely believe should be part of every conversation about dog welfare. Read that again. The way you say goodbye to your dog in the morning directly influences the biological stress response they experience for the first hour after you leave. Not because your dog understands the words, not because you are explaining where you are going, but because a calm, consistent departure ritual communicates something at a level beneath language. It tells your dog's nervous system that this leaving is familiar, that it is safe, that it has happened before and ended with a return. The owners who rushed out, who left without acknowledgement, or who made the goodbye emotionally charged with guilt or excessive reassurance, actually produced higher stress responses in their dogs. Because to a dog's nervous system, an emotionally inconsistent departure is harder to categorize. It registers as unusual, and unusual means uncertain, and uncertain means the alarm runs louder. 30 seconds, a calm voice, your hand on their head, the same thing every morning in the same order. That is all the research is asking for, and your dog's brain chemistry will reflect it for the next hour after the door closes. Your dog does not know what work is. They do not know about meetings or commutes or deadlines. They know one thing with absolute biological certainty. You are the center of their nervous system. When you are there, everything runs at its right pace. When you leave, something essential is missing, and the body knows it even before the mind has words for it. The research does not say this to make you feel guilty. It says it to tell you something true about the bond you have built. Because an animal only experiences that kind of separation response for someone who matters that much. Your dog is not anxious because they are broken or badly trained or overly dependent. They are anxious because you are, in the most biological sense of the word, irreplaceable to them. And every morning when you come home and they run to you as though the whole world just started again, that is not habit. That is not performance. That is a nervous system completing a circuit that only closes when you walk back through the door. If this video changed the way you see your morning routine with your dog, do one thing before you leave. Hit like, drop a comment telling us what surprised you most, and subscribe so you do not miss what we are covering next. Because the more you understand what is happening inside your dog, the better every part of your life together becomes. And that is always worth showing up for.